important thing to recognize is predictive programming. Predictive programming, YouTuber, because it's just insane if you really think about it. Like, I mean, the coincidence, yeah, I mean, okay, it's a possibility, but I mean, come on. Let's just analyze this intelligently and see if this is coincidence. We're going to look at the possibility that Family Guy was used in predictive programming for the Illuminati blood sacrifice of Robin Williams. So this is Betsy McGee's expose on the Boston Marathon and Robin Williams predictive programming pandemonium. I just fast forwarded it here to the Robin Williams part, but I'll leave the full-length video for you to check out in the description section. But I wanted you to pay attention. This stuff is just mind-blowing. So here it is.
The more recent incident that he foreshadowed, where someone may have actually died. Robin Williams' supposed suicide on August 11th, 2014. Immediately preceding the announcement of Robin Williams' death, the BBC Three network just happened to play a repeat of a May 2012 Family Guy episode entitled Viewer Mail Number 2. The show began at 11:25 p.m. London time. The news of the actor's apparent suicide broke at around 11:50 p.m., 25 minutes later. So take a 21-minute show, throw in some commercials, and the completion of the show and the suicide announcement happened at pretty much the exact same time. The episode is broken down into 3 parts. The first part, entitled Chap of the Manor, portrays everyone in the Griffin family except Stewie as British, and says it's brought to you by BBC One, just in case you think it's a fluke that it's shown on BBC Three right before Mr. Williams' death hits the airwaves. At a minute and a half in, the family is watching a game show called Wheel of Politeness. For some reason, the Family Guy animators have elected to give only 2 of the visible spaces on the wheel the correct number of prongs, like the actual wheel from the American game show Wheel of Fortune. The 2 spaces that don't have excess prongs are 300 and 600. So here's a nice backwards 63, which is Mr. Williams' age at the time of his death. The number of prongs is their sneaky way of pointing it out. In the 1998 movie, What Dreams May Come, when Robin Williams' character dies and goes to heaven, his spirit guide says this to him.
Last time you saw me, I was 63, stretched out on a cardiac ward. Who wants to be 63 throughout eternity?
Who wants to be 63 throughout eternity? In a movie where he dies, just prophetically, I guess, or synchrodestiny is responsible for it. I mean, come on. They're showing us this. This has to be predictive programming.
If you're that depressed, reach out to someone. And remember, suicide is a permanent solution to temporary problems. My tombstone will say 1951-2014. I never knew till now. It's not the dates that matter. It's the dash. Irrevocably fucked.
There was probably some marital problems going on, which just added to everything else that was already bothering him. Susan Schneider last saw him at 10:30 p.m. before she went to bed, and when she went to work the next morning, she thought that he was just still sleeping. That Monday morning, Robin Williams' assistant tried to wake him up, and when there was no response, broke into the locked bedroom. You could imagine how horrified this assistant was when she found Williams dressed still in his clothing in a seated position with a belt tied around his neck. He also had superficial cuts on his wrist, so he was probably trying to maybe do it that way. And the pocket knife that he tried to use was found right nearby his body. By the time he was found, rigor mortis had already set in. It takes 12 to 18 hours for this to occur, so you could only imagine that this happened right after he had last seen his wife. Robin Williams was pronounced dead at 12:02 p.m.
I'm back. Kyle. Hey, Kyle. Oh, Kyle. I told you to stop doing that. Kyle?
So